Prince Harry never imagined it would come to this, reaching out to the one individual he once relied on above all else, only to face a silence so profound it rattled him. For years, Harry and Prince William were inseparable. They weren't merely siblings, they were a unit, united by grief, obligation, and a shared existence under scrutiny. But now it seems like they're strangers. And now something must have occurred that gravely shifted things. So William just can't tolerate him anymore, treading two entirely divergent paths. And the devastating part is Harry's finally grasping that the door he hoped might reopen could be closed forever. It didn't begin with one instance, but 1,000 small moments piled atop one another. Harry's choice to step back from royal duties with Meghan Markle was already a jolt to the system. But what ensued? That's where things turned from strained to poisonous. Oprah Talk's Netflix series revealing books. It wasn't just Harry sharing his perspective. It was Harry exposing years of deeply personal scars. And whether justified or not, William viewed it as disloyalty. But now, after everything, the distance, the media battles, the emotional debris, Harry's making a discreet effort behind the scenes. Not for attention, not for headlines, just one sibling reaching out to another, hoping there's still something worth saving. Sources near the royal circles say Harry recently made a heartfelt appeal to William. Not via an aide, not in a public statement, a genuine, raw attempt to reconnect. But William? He's not answering the call. He's not responding to the message. In fact, insiders claim he's pulling even further away. And here's the thing, William's not acting out of spite. He's acting out of pain. The kind of pain that lingers deeply. People forget that William's been holding the fort this entire time. While Harry was in California building anew, William was facing the storm directly, supporting King Charles through royal health crises, upholding the monarchy amid public criticism, shielding Kate as she faces her own health struggles. This isn't just about emotions anymore, it's about legacy. That's what makes this entire situation even more tangled. Because while Harry may be seeking peace, William is focused on preservation. He's not just Harry's sibling, he's the future king. Every action he takes, every conversation he holds carries weight. And right now, giving Harry another chance feels like a gamble he's not willing to take. Not because he doesn't care for his brother, but because he doesn't trust what follows next. Let's be honest, William's not oblivious to the pattern. In fact, Harry opens a door, something private seems to leak. A discussion ends up in a podcast. A memory turns into a book chapter. A moment of openness becomes content. Whether it's Harry's fault or not, William sees a cycle, and the price of that cycle is too steep. Meanwhile, Harry's in a very different place. California sunshine can't mend what's broken. His public image back in the UK is in tatters. Meghan is facing new criticism, and the royal ties that once felt unbreakable are hanging by a thread. So when Harry picks up the phone this time, it's not a tactic. Survival. He's realizing that fame and wealth mean nothing without family. But here's the harsh truth. It might be too late. William isn't waiting at the door anymore. He's moved forward. He's locked in. And unless something real and radical changes, Harry might be standing alone on the other side of a wall that's never coming down. William's world looks nothing like Harry's anymore. While one brother is chasing peace across oceans, the other is bound by duty with no space for sentiment. William isn't just avoiding Harry. He's safeguarding everything he believes he's meant to uphold. The crown, the institution, the expectations resting on his shoulders. It's all a delicate machine, and he sees any disruption as a threat. That includes the emotional kind, especially the emotional kind. He's not being cold just for the sake of it. William's been burned too many times to reach for the fire again. After Harry's explosive interviews and candid memoir, trust between the brothers wasn't just cracked, it was shattered. What wounded William most wasn't just the content, but the context. Conversations once held in private were now public property. Nuances were lost and everything felt like an accusation. It cornered him. And from there, William resolved he wouldn't offer anything that could become a headline again. Now his focus is razor sharp. With King Charles facing his own health challenges, William has stepped deeper into the role of future monarch. He's front and center at events, handling diplomatic pressures, balancing tradition with modernization. At home, he's caring for his wife Kate, whose health has also become a major concern. He barely has time to breathe, let alone reopen. A wound that still hasn't healed. And even if he wanted to, what would it even look like? Harry's plea may be sincere, but from William's perspective, it's not enough. Words don't carry weight when they follow so much damage. What William reportedly seeks isn't a text or a call. It's true accountability. A sign that Harry grasps the gravity of what was lost. It's that he's not just seeking a quick fix or a guilt-cleansing chat. William needs to believe that if he opens the door, it won't lead to another headline 6. Months later, meanwhile, those around the palace aren't exactly encouraging a reunion. Advisors, staff, even family members, many are cautious of another emotional roller coaster. They've seen the public battles unfold. They've watched how every reconciliation turns into another twist in the royal saga. From their view, distance equals stability. And stability is what the monarchy needs most right now. But that doesn't mean William isn't hurting, too. The silence isn't just strategic, it's heavy. There are nights, insiders say, when he recalls old memories, childhood laughter in palace halls. Shared grief after Diana's death. The moments when he and Harry were each other's anchor. That kind of bond doesn't vanish. It just gets buried under years of anger, resentment, and pressure. And no one understands that pain more than Kate. Kate was once the quiet bridge between the brothers. For years, she tried to smooth things over to maintain the connection. But being pulled into the public feud changed that. She stepped back from that role now, focusing on her own family, her health, and her growing duties. There's no more room for her to play mediator, especially when the stakes are this high. So, where does it all go from here? That depends on whether either brother is willing to shift. Harry's call may have come from a place of sincerity, but sincerity alone won't rebuild trust. And William, for all his royal training, still just a man who's been wounded deeply by someone he once loved, without condition. If this is ever going to be mended, it's going to take more than one side reaching out. It's going to take both of them doing something they haven't done in years, truly listening. There's a certain tragedy in watching two people drift apart when everyone knows how much they once meant to each other. Harry and William weren't just royal siblings. They were a symbol, a living testament to Diana's legacy, her resilience, her heart. For years, their closeness gave people hope that maybe, just maybe, the next generation of royals would do things differently. But now, that hope feels like a faded photograph. Harry isn't asking for a throne or a title. What he's seeking is far more human: a moment, a chance, a pause in the noise. But with every unanswered message, it becomes clearer that William has built a wall so high that even blood can't climb it. And maybe that's not entirely his fault. Being born into the role of future king means everything personal gets filtered through a political lens. There's no such thing as just being a sibling anymore. People keep saying time heals all wounds, but in this case, time has only made the silence louder. Harry's reaching out now, not just because he's lonely, but because he's finally seeing what's slipping away. The family dinners that will never happen, the cousins who won't grow up side by side. It's the future moments that can't be captured because the foundation is broken. He knows life moves fast, knows regret hits hardest when it's too late to fix things. And this time, he doesn't want to be the guy who waited too long. But here's where things get complex. Harry still lives in a world that demands content. He may want a quiet moment, but the people around him, producers, publishers, Media handlers often want the opposite. That's the bind William sees. Even if Harry's heart is in the right place, his circumstances raise red flags. Every heartfelt call comes with the question, will this end up on a stream next month? That's not to say Harry's intentions aren't genuine. People close to him say he's more introspective than ever. The California lifestyle, the freedom, it gave him clarity, but also distance. And now that the dust is settling, he's missing the one person who always understood the pressure from the inside. Not Meghan, not Prince William, because only William knows what it's like to grow up under a microscope, to grieve in public, to carry expectations that feel impossible. Harry's finally seeing the cost of that lost connection. King Charles has kept his distance too, partly because of his own health concerns, and partly because he's just weary. Years of tension have worn him down, and stepping in between, his sons feels like reopening wounds that never fully closed. There's a sense among palace staff that even if he wanted to intervene, he's not sure it would make a difference. He's not the glue anymore. That role once belonged to Diana, and now it's just gone. Some royal watchers are still holding out hope that something might change. That maybe one day William will wake up and see not the man who left, but the boy he once protected. That Harry will step back from the headlines and reach out as a brother, not a public figure. That somewhere in all this mess, the two of them can find each other again, not as royals, not as symbols, but just as brothers. Until that happens, though, they remain on opposite sides of a very thick silence. One is holding out his hand, the other is holding his ground. And the world, for once, isn't watching for the drama. It's watching for something much rarer: reconciliation. Because no crown is worth more than family. And no title can replace what's been lost.